Whoa, what's going on, guys? Happy Saturday. Saturday Arm Day, baby. We have antibiotics and arms today. A, so, let me catch you guys up a little bit on what was going on. And what's still going on is I had an infection on my shoulder. I guess I still have one. And we're on a very heavy dose of antibiotics to murder it. Because my people understand that a bigger guy needs more medicine. Plain and simple. So we're over here trying to nip that in the bud, right? Legs yesterday with first day of antibiotics. When you're training with something that taxing on the body, sometimes it's good, especially in the beginning of a cycle of this stuff, to just let it chill out. So that's what we did. Let it rest a little bit, but an arm day, you can brutally annihilate your arms, and it won't be anywhere close to taxing on compared to an okay leg day, because your legs, the amount of force, the amount of load you're pushing, it is just so much more taxing rather, on the human body than anything you could exert with your arms. So we're heading to the gym right now. Normally we train with 3 meals. It's about 1:30 right now. We have 2 meals in us because I just wanted to let my body rest as much as possible, and I think it did us some favors for sure. So I got up and kind of after like 9 hours sleep, took my first round of antibiotics, had a meal, took care of the pup, all that good stuff, went back to bed for the 2 hours, had my second meal, and then just kind of got ready for the gym, you know. That's what our day's looking like right now. And then a bunch of stuff later, whatever. Trying to stay as calm as possible. What's a nice thing to see as far as my aesthetics is it's not quite down yet, but how my right shoulder was always so much bigger than my left shoulder. And I've been getting comments on it, not so much bigger, but, you know, noticeably bigger. I was getting a lot of comments on social media about it recently. Hey, did you notice this? Did you notice this, that, and the next thing? It's like, well, it's because there's been an infection brewing in there for, God, at least like 6 months. And then one day it snapped and it spread to the skin a little bit, which is where I noticed it, and it started to really hurt. So it hurts a lot to move it around. So we're just going to try not to move it too much. You know, my logic is this. It's not an injury. So I can deal with some pain to have a great workout, you know. If it was an injury that was going to get worse because I was going to train around it and figure things out and get fancy, you know, then it's not worth the risk. But for me, there's nothing injured. It just hurts a lot. And, you know, if Teddy Roosevelt can get shot on stage and finish a speech, I think we can get through a good arm workout. Not even get through, we can annihilate. We can have a great arm workout while we have some, I'll be honest, pretty aggressive shoulder pain. So that's the plan today, man. Now, what I'm about to say I don't condone. I do identify as a doctor, so it's okay, you know. It was so blown up, and there was just so much pressure in there. I actually went to urgent care, and I never go to those places. Because in my opinion, you should never go to a doctor for general health advice or anything remotely like that. If you can't do it yourself, find somebody you know who can. Because doctors 99% of the time now just want to prescribe something to you and don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to make money. It's gone far too far, you know. And we learned a lot about that during the pandemic, you know. But regardless, I went there. I'm like, I need somebody to drain my shoulder out. Like, there's clearly fluid in there. I need somebody to drain it out. So I sat in the waiting room, sat in the office. I taught the nice young PA, whatever her name was, doctor something or other, quite a bit about bodybuilding and such. And she just kept asking me questions. But they couldn't drain it for me because they didn't have any radiology equipment there for like an ultrasound. So, like, we can make you an appointment somewhere else. You can go get it done like next week. I'm like, okay, no problem. Sure, I'm gonna make that phone call. No. So, Dr. John went home, and I'm like, let me leave it alone for a day or two and get some antibiotics. So that I knew I needed. And then before I was like finished getting ready for bed and everything. I drank the beef shake, and I'm like, let's go to sleep and sleep on it. And I'm like, I just get moved around. I'm like, fuck, this hurts. So one moment I said, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna drain it myself. So I went in the bathroom, and I did what was necessary to drain it, where I kept sticking it in. But when you stuck it in, it didn't just magically come out, you know? So I was like wiggling it around and stuff, trying to get it. My shoulder is, I did it 5 different times. And I got about 7 cc's worth of shit out of there, just pus and blood. It was gross. It was pretty gross. But I'm proud to say that was my first surgery. You know, that was Dr. John's first surgery. So that's exciting. But I'm glad I did it that night, because in the condition that my skin feels and is in yesterday mainly, but today as well, there's no way that would have worked. There's no way I would have gotten away with that. But you can see my shoulder, not in this angle, but you can see it actually came down a little bit. So it's starting to look like my left shoulder, which is my real shoulder size, you know? It's just the other one had an injury for the longest time, which was scar tissue, which then this developed underneath. So, moral of the story, guys, if you see something's wrong, nip it in the bud, you know? I didn't realize it would go this far at all. And for me, you know, I didn't think an infection would have even made sense happening there. Because I hadn't done anything in a very long time or rather that could have possibly brought on an infection, you know? But, you know, you live and you learn, and that's all we can really say, man. I mean, I've had that bubble on my shoulder for, I can't remember how long. At least 6 months, maybe a little longer. Started a little longer ago for sure, but I don't know, got worse and worse as time progressed, and then recently just blew up. But we're gonna try to move this arm as little as possible today. We're training arms, so I think once the blood gets in the area a little bit, it's either gonna help it out or it's gonna hurt a lot. So we're gonna find out very, very quickly, I believe. You know, probably do a lot of isolation stuff today to try to not move that shoulder around too much. And man, hopefully that's about it. We got Super Bowl tomorrow. You guys ready for that? As far as Americans are concerned, the largest sporting event on the face of this earth. What's funny is I saw I don't follow sports very much at all, but I saw a post that said it was something. I got it. It was the Super Bowl brings in like $115 million a year. It runs every year, and the World Cup brings in about $4 billion, and it runs every year, and it runs every 4 years. So the post was like, they're basically the same thing, because like if you multiply 1 million times 4, you get 4 billion. Man, we all know where they went to clown college, so it's incredible how people just make it through their days, you know? Absolutely incredible. But I might have to chug this with my other arm. Just let these guys go. Alrighty. Boom. Cheers. That actually hurt a lot. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I'll be honest, could have been worse. I got a new flavor today. It's like beach blessed Baja something or other.